Well, hi, Fernando. It's nice to have you here, and let's talk about you and your projects. There's two projects, going around, and like we have Summer '69 that is coming out tomorrow in Prime or Hulu. I'm like
Hulu. We're in
Hulu,
Hulu.
Hulu. Yes, okay. Summer '69. You have a little small
Hmm.
part on it. Talk to me
Yes.
about this project.
It's a really hilarious comedy about coming of age, and I like to believe that it's a bit of a feminist story, and the story of these two best friends who you would never think they could come together to better each other's lives. But yeah, it's the premise is funny because it's a stripper teaching an 18-year-old how to be confident and sexy enough to 69 her crush. And then, it sounds kind of silly, but there's a lot of learning and growing that happens in the film, both for the older person and the young girl. So I'm the one that creates the rumor that her crush loves to do that act. And that's what kind of like gets the whole story going. So I don't know, it's a really cute, funny, kind of outrageous growing up story, but I think it's really cool to see how what attracted me about it is seeing how relationships can change us so much and help us find and discover things about ourselves that we didn't know we could do, or just teach us lessons that otherwise we would not have learned. And I love things like that. I love growth. So
It's a really crazy. I laughed so much yesterday. I told my husband, we had to watch this movie again because it is hilarious. I really love it. And the end, great message. Like you say, it's like a great
yes,
message
yes.
from everybody. Everybody, learn a little bit of everything over here.
And it's also really cool because it stars Chloe Fineman from SNL, and it was directed by also the hilarious Gillian Bell. This is her directorial debut. Plus, among other huge comedians that I don't even want to mention because I don't want to give it away,
Uh-huh.
and other huge celebrities. But for me, it was so special to also be part of a project with such, big comedians in our current industry. Like it was such an honor, and seeing them work on set was also just like really cool and a huge learning experience for me. So it's a great project all
That's
around.
amazing. And then we have, oh my God, Acapulco ending season.
Yes.
For
Yes.
seasons is coming in July 27 on Apple TV.
I
What
think
is
July 23rd might
happening?
be.
What is happening with Acapulco? Give me
Ah,
like a resume, like really short resume.
I think the
What we're
the
gonna
best
see.
way that I can describe it is this season is gonna answer a lot of the questions that the fans of the show have been having for the last 4 years.
Mhm.
I think people are finally understand what happened between Maximo and Julia, how each character got, because during season three, we got to see how a lot of the characters, what their current state is, where they are in their life, what they currently do. And this season finally answers a lot of the questions of how they got there. So I think this is the season where we get to see most of the growth, but also the season where we get to understand how Maximo became the person that he is, what happened with Julia, um, Memo, Lorena,
Yeah.
Hector, and Diane. Like we finally get to see how everyone got to their current state. So it's a lot of questions are getting answered, and it's really exciting.
How is everybody feeling? Acapulco. It was the first Spanglish series that Apple TV introduced,
Mhm.
and now we're gonna see it to an end. How the cast is feeling? How you guys are feeling about seeing this? This is over. It's done.
Well, as per usual, every time we finish a season, we never know if it was gonna be the last. Like we
Mhm.
genuinely find out around the same time that the audience did. Like, uh, you know,
Wow.
um, so in that end, of course, it's sad, but there is this sense of gratitude and fulfillment that we all feel because
Mhm.
in this day and age with streaming 4 seasons is an anomaly that doesn't happen, especially with a bilingual show, especially
Mhm.
with a Latino led cast. Like I'm kind of get emotional about it.
Oh.
We're doing things that haven't been done in a while, and we are sad that it's ending, but first of all, we have the family that we created. Every time a season ended and we didn't know if we were gonna come back, we still kept seeing each other. We kept in touch with each other, so we know that's gonna stay because we've kind of like been through that uncertainty before. Um, it's sad to never see these characters again, and like, am I sad that I'm never gonna hang out with them again? 1,000%. Um, what we accomplished is so big,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and the way that the show touched people is like unlike anything I've ever seen or done before.
mm-hmm,
That I just feel grateful and I feel blessed that we got 4 years of this magic. Um, and I think that feeling and that emotion is taking over the pain or the sadness because we are rock stars and the show just went for the time that it had to be. And we're also living on a really high note. That's what also keeps us really calm. You know how sometimes shows keep going and going and going and then they start losing their
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
their thing. And
Uh-huh.
Acapulco's living on a high note, so we're mostly grateful.
Amazing. And I cannot wait for watching it. It's really cool, and to see this, the Apple TV Gamble, in this project, and
Exactly.
they're doing more projects that are in Spanish, or so it's kind of
Hmm.
cool to see Apple TV, embracing our culture. So it's really cool to see.
Yes.
And what else for you? What are we you been doing? Do you have anything on the
Ah.
sleeve working?
So I'm finally starting to entering more of my phase of like producing and self-creating. I think after 4 year, of course, I'm still auditioning and all those things, but after 4 years of just wanting to do the acting thing, I just executive produced my first short, which is going to the Latino Film Festival in LA, La Live. It's also going to the International Film Festival in Guadalajara, Mexico. Like it's selected for both of these festivals, and it's premiering at the end of this month, actually, in both of them.
Really?
So I'm an executive producer now, which was
Oh,
cool. Which is so funny. But I'm starting to write music. So I hope
wow,
that, yeah,
that is so
within the next
cool.
few months, I can finally tiptoe my it will be an independent project probably, but like I really, music was my first love since I was a kid, and then it became acting as well. But I really want to do music, and I want to do music that sets a loud message about our Latino community, but also being uh queer and being a plus size person, like just all the fights that I like to fight, and kind of like open up my heart a little bit because I feel like everyone knows me as like this comedian or like really funny person, but there's heartbreak and drama and stuff like that to explore too. So that's right now, that's what's online for me, and I'm still auditioning. So any producers, casting directors, I'm technically out of a job now. Hit me up, hit
Hit
me
me.
up.
Yes, yes. So, Fernando, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I always watch you, I follow you, and I love your
Thank
posts,
you.
everything that you do. And I wish you the best, todo un éxito que tengas, y yo sé que tú lo haces de corazón, and you're gonna get what you always wanted to dream. Just
Thank
you.
you so much, I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for having me. I love you guys so much.